Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. So alongside with the announcement of the new maximum mode that is being introduced within Yu-Gi-Oh Rush Duels, they've released a couple of different archetypes. The other one that I'll be discussing in another video is actually the original one shown in the anime. But I thought I'd look at this one first just because it's a little bit unique and different. These are called the Super Magitek Deity Magnum Overrode. So it's quite unusual, a kind of name, and they both have kind of different ways of reacting. We'll just see how they are. This is my first reaction to them. Super Magitek Deity Magnum Overrode left. Okay, so that must be positioned on, probably has to be positioned on in the left column. It's a level 4 Dark Attribute Machine Maximum Effect Monster. It has 800 attack and 0 defense. It's that blue one you can see. The requirement for its maximum mode is you can activate it by sending one card from your hand to the graveyard if your life points are lower than your opponent's. Until the end of this turn, this card's attack equals the difference in life points. Okay, so that depending on how that works, if you've got, say, 2,000 life points less than your opponent, just by discarding a card, you're able to make this card a 2,800 attack monster or even more, depending on how the game state is. That's not a bad effect, considering how bad some of the monsters have already been introduced within the game. I can easily see this mechanic actually being quite effective. The second card is actually the maximum monster itself. It's Super Magitek Deity Magnum Overrode. It's a level 10, and I think this is one of the only level 10s that's been introduced into the game so far. It's a Dark Attribute Machine, a maximum effect monster. It's got a maximum attack of 3,500. Keep in mind that's very important. Its normal attack is 1,900 and it's got 0 defense. You can maximum summon together with Super Magitek Deity Magnum Overrode L and R. And the requirement is for the maximum mode. The continuous effect is this card cannot be destroyed by the effects of your opponent's trap cards. So the whole point of this maximum monster, the reason it's got 2 different attack points, if you want to know, if you just summon it and treat it as a normal monster, it has 1,900 attack. If you manage to summon it alongside the other 2 versions, the L and the R, that's where it has that 3,500 attack. Considering at the moment there aren't any other monsters with that level of, attack, it's incredibly powerful, and the continuous effect of it to be able to protect itself from your opponent's trap effects from destruction, that's an amazing effect. The other thing is it does bulk up from the previous effect of L as well. So if you're in a disadvantage, this card isn't a 3,500 attack monster. It could be well over 4,000 if you can get things right. And the final card is the R, which is a level 3 Dark Attribute Machine Maximum Effect Monster. It's got 500 attack and 0 defense. The requirement as the maximum mode is you can activate by sending the top card of your deck to the graveyard. The effect is choose one face-up monster your opponent controls. Until the end of the turn, this card gains 200 attack times the chosen monster's level. This is dependent on your opponent's monsters, what they have out. If they've got something powerful, basically the higher the level, the more likely you are to get attack points from it. This is an amazing effect because the whole point of the middle boss monster within this is to rack up its attack. You can essentially OTK with this card if you can get the conditions right. If the life points difference are significant, you could get this card to over 5,000 attack, and if your opponent has, say for example, a level 7 monster, that's an extra 1,400 attack on top of that. So potentially you could be dealing with a 6,000, 7,000 attack monster that your opponent isn't going to be able to respond with traps against. Being able to use this and access these types of effects is an amazing choice and option for the Rush Duels series, and actually I would say my only concern of this is how quickly is this going to become a power-crept mechanic. At the moment, most of the monsters out there are so weak that using this strategy will be enough to game any deck significantly. I can just say that as an outright statement, I know that's the case. And how vicious are these maximum monsters going to be? I mean, if this is already getting 6,000, 7,000 attack, where are they actually going to finish with this? Are they going to have various other forms of maximum monsters? How easy are they going to become to summon? Because at the moment, much in the same way as you look at synchro monsters, much in the same way that you look at Xyz monsters, even link monsters, when they start off with their mechanic, they're very specific to an archetype or some kind of a structure. If you look at synchro monsters, some of them require to have certain types, certain attributes, different factors which forced a condition on them. The same with Xyz monsters. Some of them require types or attributes in order to summon. This at the moment needs three specific cards to summon at the same time. When is it going to become a case of they're going to introduce very generic ones, but that you can mix and match and be able to adapt their effects? As soon as that part of the mechanic starts being introduced alongside maybe spell and trap support through searching some of these cards, it's going to make it very difficult to compete against unless you're running this type of thing as well. And the other thing I've got to think of is, what is the other thing that they've introduced within Rush Duels that they haven't within, say, some of the other series? The answer to that is the legend cards. When are we going to receive some kind of hybrid legend maximum card? That is definitely going to happen. How soon it's going to happen, who knows? Could happen within next year. Could be near the end of the series. More likely, I would say near the end of the series, because otherwise that would be too broken, and they always go for these massive boss monsters at the end. There will be some surprises thrown in, I have no doubt. But how and when they're going to interact or introduce these is a question of time, really. What do you think of these cards? Is this something you're impressed with? Do you like the direction that Konami is going with this? Or do you think that ultimately Rush Duels are going to end up speeding up the same as standard Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels? And do you think actually we're going to end up in a situation much the same, where we end up with too powerful monsters, the game state becoming too complicated, too quick, too fast for new users to understand and to compete effectively and to even have fun? Whatever you think, leave your comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Yu-Gi-Oh! Content.